I go to the supermarket, and there's one brand of juice that I buy every so often. And the last time I went, I noticed in big letters across the top, it said, no high fructose corn syrup. And I've never seen that on there before, so it's a new label. The one thing I also noticed, there was no difference in the price. So basically, I just want to know, what is the true cost of labeling here? The bottom line, it is our right to know. It is our right to make a choice when we go to the supermarket.
Thank you.
Thank you
for your testimony. Thank you for coming forward. Councilmember Burke, short questions, please.
Quick question. The antecedents to this is that you have a child that brought you into this realm, correct?
Yes.
And so the question would be to you, have you noticed anything different about your child's well-being when you started looking at labels and trying to figure out for yourself what your family would be consuming at the dinner table? What changes on your own can you quantify in your own life with your family?
Well, the first thing we had to do is we had to look at gluten, wheat, dairy, those things, because she has a very sensitive digestive system. And we have, over the years, slowly started to move in the direction of organic. The first thing we did was we went to organic milk for the other children that aren't allergic. Her health has improved tremendously. There are times I can't buy organic, and that's when I need to know if it's GMO, because I do not want to feed that to my children, and it's hard to make that choice in the supermarket when it's not labeled.
We've heard evidence from scientists, we've heard from the community, all the different answers of why we should label GMOs. But the bottom line is it's not about whether it's good or bad. We've made that clear. This battle today is not about whether it's good or bad. The battle today is whether to label it, to give consumers the option, the simple option of whether or not it's a GMO.
In this particular resolution, all we are saying is information. If we believe that people have a right to their own opinions, then it has to be based on knowing the difference. And that's all this resolution says. Just label it.
It's really not fair to label 80% of the food when a small minority of people want to purchase food that has the label. We already know they have the right to know, and it's called organic. You don't have to go outside your supermarket. All you have to do is look for the GMO-free or the organic label. And in fact, Whole Foods does the best part. They have gone out and said they're the biggest organic producer in the nation, and they've said as long as GMO crops have been in this country, GMOs have been in the U.S. food supply. The most effective action we can take now is to label the food that doesn't include GMO, and that's what they're already doing. So the right to know exists as is right now. If I'm Jewish and I only want kosher, I don't need to label all the food non-kosher. I buy kosher food. My animal welfare friends want to eat range-free meat. It says range-free on the label. Okay, you're vegan, you want to eat certain foods, it says milk-free, vegan-free. There are so many choices that people can make about the foods they want to eat. The system is already in place. You cannot force through labeling that has nothing to do with health and safety. You cannot force the 80% of the people that don't really care. We care more about the right to affordable food than we do about a label. You cannot force us to bear the burden for a few people to avoid those foods. They're not eating it now. How can you put a label on the rest of the food? They're not going to pay for it. They're not eating it.
Should a pregnant mother in Hawaii not be able to choose whether or not she wants to eat GMOs? All humans deserve the right to know. They cross the species barriers, vegetables with scorpion genes, tomatoes with flounder genes, potatoes with jellyfish genes that glow when they need to drink water.
The provisions of this bill, I think, will cost more money because somebody's going to have to trace where the product came from. Right now, that's not done. And then you have to decide on what is the threshold level. Is it 0.001? Is it 0.51%? You know, where are you going to draw lines? This is a huge regulatory nightmare that you're about to enter if you approve the labeling bill, from my viewpoint. And then you'd have to have inspections. I don't know if you'd want to do them on a county basis, state basis, federal basis.
Is there more evidence that a GMO, or what you just talked about with that coating, that there's more of a relationship adverse to the insect world and then getting on the food chain than there is at this time with the human element?
Well, you know, it's hard to say what's more important. You come up here and maybe just try and talk about labeling, but there's about 5 major concerns about this technology. And, you know, one being is that when you put a pesticide into a plant, you're killing indiscriminately. And so you're wiping out the beneficial insects as well as the harmful insects. That's the problem.
We are the voters. We have the power to put our elected leaders in or out of office based on whether you are on the side of the people or on the side of other interests. We are watching. We are the consumers. We have the power to insist that our food be labeled regardless of all the other arguments if we want it. We will exercise the power of our wallets. Monsanto and other GMO companies, I have this to say: no hide, no secrets. If you are so proud of your products, you should have no problem with labeling them. We need to do business in Hawaii, pono. And pono business means respecting people's intelligence, our common sense, and our intuition. When consumers and voters want labeling, there is a reason for it. Eventually, it will be done. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Are you, if this doesn't pass, do we need to wait for someone to die? Is that the role of government? Are we going to have to wait for one more person to quantify and substantiate that somebody actually died from this? How would you respond to that?
Council member, we are not going to wait. We will push this issue, and it will eventually be done. We hope it will be here, and we hope it will be island-wide and statewide that support for GMO labeling happens right here, right now. Thank you.
When I would complain to my good friend, Dr. Bruce, about the cost of buying non-GMO foods, his response would always be, it's cheaper than chemotherapy. You weigh the costs. We already have, all of us here that gave testimony today, already have weighed those costs. Do not accept the corporate bribes. Do the right thing and label it. Mahalo.
Somebody said there's a small group of people wanting labeling. There's more than 90% of your constituents out there that are asking for labeling. Right. So, I wanted to come here to experience this whole thing, because whatever you guys do today is going to be critical to this whole movement. It's only a resolution. It has no effect of law or anything like that, but it reflects the people. And that's the bottom line. Are we going to reflect the people, or are we going to reflect the corporations and their profits?
There's no evidence about the effects of GMO. And that's for what reason that I'll be voting no, because it's my choice to buy organic food. Because of that, I'll be voting no.
I just heard a colleague with a position, this is 4th down in inches. I mean, that's how far these folks have come. They've come all the way down the field. They're down at the goal line. And what are we going to do? We're going to punt.
So I think I'm going to vote yes with reservations. In this case, 75% of our food, by imposing some kind of label, whatever that label would say, then we are once again adding to the cost of living here in Hawaii.
I'm a man who likes facts, Mr. Chairman, as my colleague next to me stated. If we're going to recommend that the state legislature go ahead and perform an action, we need to show them actual factual data showing them why they should do this. Similar to what they do when they pass resolutions requesting that the county councils go ahead and take a certain action. I'm not comfortable, Mr. Chairman, that we have the necessary data showing why we should go ahead and ask them to do this. For those reasons, I'll be voting in opposition. Thank you.
Okay, on the motion to adopt Resolution 12-57, any objections, members? Noting 1, 2, 3, 4 objections. Any reservations? 1 reservation. Committee Report 99 and Resolution 12-57 has failed to be adopted. Okay, this particular resolution will be placed on the next agenda for filing.